to say good morning because that's where we are here in Bude in North Cornwall, recording a lovely kind of end of year reflection type session for everyone. Thank you for everyone joining me on Zoom, and thank you for those guys who hopefully will be watching this. This will be a free video. I'll just pop it up, accessible to anyone and everyone, and I hope you enjoy. So my normal sessions involve a combination of breathwork, movement, stretching, all that kind of thing, and also sharing some passages that I have found which resonate with me, sharing some thoughts as well, some musings if you like. So I just hope everyone enjoys it. This is a strange time of year for a lot of people. We maybe had started this year with great expectations. And I think it's pretty fair to say that a lot of us started this year already a little bit broken from the previous 2 years. And I think maybe we expected a lot of ourselves. We expect a lot of other people maybe as well. And of course we still feel, or I do, and I know a lot of other people do, still feel like we've been kind of bashed around about this year. It hasn't been as easeful as we maybe hoped it might be. It hasn't been quite so calm as we maybe expected it to be. So there's a lot of settling that I believe, and I certainly feel myself, that I need to do. And reconnecting, seriously reconnecting with myself, with those around me, my friends, my family, nature, universe. I could go on forever, we all know that. And I do sometimes, but I'm going to try not to today, I promise. So in your own time, the invitation right now is find a position that works for you, whether it's in a seated position, supine, curled up in a ball, throwing the blanket over you, whatever works for you. And just give yourself this time. Maybe for you this last week has been super busy. Maybe you've been the one that's hosted a Christmas dinner and hosted friends and family staying with you. It could be very hectic. Maybe you haven't been particularly well. I know there's been a lot of people with a lot of viruses, colds, coughs. I was still recovering from COVID slightly on over Christmas. So very kind of low key compared to maybe how we expected it to be. And life is full of ups and downs. It doesn't matter where we live. It doesn't matter what we do for a job. It doesn't matter whether we do yoga every day or week, or whether we haven't done yoga ever before. Life is full of up and downs. And for me, the hardest part is accepting the downs and finding that balance and appreciating those downs as well. And it may be that as we come towards this time of year that we are willing today and tomorrow out of the way. Can't wait to get rid of this year. It's been so horrible for various reasons. It's been so difficult, it's been so tricky, so hard. And the invitation I'm going to send out to you is to not rush to the end of the year. Let's take our time right now here and have a little reflection of what this year has brought. Yeah, the downs as well as the ups, the losses, the grief, the disappointments, the expectations that didn't work out. So just take a few moments as we just lie or sit, whatever position you're in, and almost with a sense of gratitude for everything that this year has brought. Because that is where the growth is. The growth is in change. The growth is in discomfort. The internal personal growth comes from surviving losses, breakups, losing jobs, moving house, accidents, whatever it is, whatever life has thrown at you this year. Is there any way that we can view it with a sense of gratitude? I'm just going to leave you to think about that just for a minute or so. Just connect with your breath. Close your eyes if you're comfortable doing that. Otherwise, maybe just have them half open, a little fuzzy gaze. Maybe lengthen and deepen your breath. Come to your Ujjayi breath if you're familiar with that little restriction in the throat that creates the sound, the ocean breath, the roar of the surf. Can we feel gratitude for this year that is just about done? Because it has brought us some good times too. It has brought us some ups. Brought us some moments that maybe make us burst out laughing out loud. And it's given us memories. And I'm slowly realising that as we go through life, that's all we're here for, really, is to make memories. Make memories for ourselves, make memories for our loved ones, our families, people around us. And just stitch all those memories together to give you this beautiful tapestry of life that we are creating right now. Fabulous. So if you were seated, let's come down on the floor. Join our friends already in their supine position. We're going to bend our knees. We're going to just bring our hands onto our belly, draw the chin in, soften the shoulders. See if you can try to take up as much space on the mat as you can. And just begin the process of breathing into your belly. So we almost kind of bypass the chest and the ribs almost. We try not to let the ribs move too much. And we imagine there's a beach ball under our hands. We're going to inflate it as we breathe in. Maybe pause briefly. And then as we exhale, we physically draw it in. We use the abdominal muscles. We feel the little hollow as the hands just kind of sink down into it. And just do another round of 4 or 5. Being with your breath. Our breath is always there, but in our pranayama, we're appreciating the act of being able to draw in our energy, our prana, our life force, our chi, whatever word works for you. And we can breathe in the love that we hold for ourselves and for other people. And we just let go of anything that no longer serves us. It really is as simple as that. Breathe in what works for you, what's good for you, what you need mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And we release whatever is blocking your way. Fabulous. And then just take the hands a little bit away from you. We've still got our feet on the ground, knees bent. We're going to do little pelvic tilts here. Checking out how that back feels. I know I spent way too much time seated, haven't done nearly the amount of exercise that I normally would. And then let the tailbone come on the ground, soften the shoulders down, maybe give them a little wiggle, and then just allow those knees to begin to go from side to side like windshield wipers, very gently. And then maybe we're going to stay here for another minute or so and just allow those legs to fall a little bit further across each time. So we begin to feel that twist deepening, that lovely stretching down the top side of your body. Maybe feel it stretching round into the lower back. Maybe the head moves in the opposite direction. Maybe as you send your gaze to one direction, you notice you've got a whole tower of goodies that you haven't even opened yet. Oh my goodness. Oh dear. And then slowly come back to neutral whenever you're ready. Lift up your tailbone, send it down towards your heels, draw those knees in. And all I like us to do begin with is literally just stay here. I'm not putting the knees in. You can just hold on loosely the back of your thighs if you prefer. My arms are long enough. I can just interlace my fingers. And it's just the weight of my arms. It's kind of encouraging the legs to maybe come down a little bit, but there's no particular stretch. It just feels nice to curl up into a ball. Maybe slowly and gently we begin to create a little bit of pressure with those hands, encouraging the thighs to come down a little bit closer to the belly, closing that gap between your body and your legs. And maybe now we begin to feel that stretch. For me, this is just a lovely gentle reminder how everything is connected. The hamstrings, the back of your thighs, the glutes and your buttocks, coming right round to the lower back. And then maybe we can lift up through the head and shoulders. We can, maybe nose to knee, chin to knee. Give those knees a little kiss. Thank them for carrying you around all day long. Draw the head and shoulders back down. Draw the chin in. We're going to hold on to the right leg. Left leg goes up to the sky, slowly lowering it down to the ground. Right leg goes up to the sky. Interlace your fingers behind. Let's find that hamstring stretch. If, like me, I've done a whole bunch of walking, it may feel very tight. And just half a dozen or so little ankle rolls. Just again releasing through those ankles. Again, the weather here has been pretty grim. Maybe not nearly so much exercise walking as we would normally do. Point and flex. And then draw the right leg in. Give it a good little squeeze. We're going to draw the left leg in as well. You may notice the right leg feels a little bit softer. So we're going to hold on to the left leg, lift the right leg back up to the sky and lowering it down to the ground. And then the left leg goes up. Interlace fingers behind, holding onto your clothing, whatever works for you. And just try to stretch through the back of the knee if you can. I know it feels tight, it's okay. Just go. Remember, the work is in the resistance. And again, maybe some half a dozen or so ankle rolls. Maybe one ankle seems a bit tighter. Maybe it's making a bit of a sound, a little clicking. Just releasing the tension there. And again, the pointing and flexing, feeling the different stretches in the front of your shin and the back of your calf muscle there. And then draw the left leg in. Hug it in nice and tight, draw the right leg in. Again, we're looking, hoping to find that balance. Hands on knees, just do a few circular motions with the knees together. Just 3 maybe in each direction. See if you can feel yourself massage through the whole of your sacrum, hip, tailbone, all the way across. And then individual circles, making that figure of 8. Maybe slowing down as you separate those legs, giving a little hip opening here. Relax the jaw, draw it in, feel that gentle stretch in the back of your neck. And then unwind those circles. And as always, just listen to your body. If something feels a bit awkward, a bit uncomfortable, then maybe your body just asks you, you know what, can we not do that? Slowly take those feet right down to the edges of your mat, if you're on a mat. If not, then wider than your shoulders. And slowly and gently, let's go back to the rocking of the knees. But let's encourage or allow, but not forcing. Just encourage or allow the lower leg to go as far over as it feels it needs to. I think I've said this several times before. This is one of my favourite stretches. So when I'm going to send my knees over to the left again, I'm just going to let them rest there. Now for me, my left leg does touch the ground. Maybe yours doesn't. It doesn't matter. Can we maybe just lift up this right thigh a little bit? So you can feel the hip flexors, the top of your quads here stretching. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, you just reach up through the right arm. Just tuck it behind you a little bit, maybe take it over. So now you're encouraging this stretch all the way down the right side of your body. Draw the ribs back towards the ground maybe. See if you can deepen that twist. And take 2 deep, all-consuming breaths in. It'd be so tight that you can almost feel that you could draw all of these muscles and the attachments that you're stretching here. Slowly bring that right arm back if you did take it over. Slowly let the legs come back. Realign through the spine. Maybe just take a moment here. Just draw the chin in again. Can you feel how that right side, for me, my right side feels much more open, longer, softer somehow. And then let's allow the legs to fall to the other side. And you may find on this side, perhaps the right leg doesn't go down to the ground. It's fine. Just allow it to go where it needs to go. Let's maybe lift up through this top hip just a little bit more to feel that stretching through the hip flexors, psoas muscles, all the way down to the quads. And we can bring that left arm up and tuck it behind you if you wanted to increase that stretch right the way up through the rib cage, the armpit. And then let's try and bring the rib cage back a little bit towards the ground. So you're actively trying to deepen this twist. And 2 deep breaths. Here we go again. Soak your body with your energy, your breath, your connection, your love. And then whenever you're ready, slowly just release, let the arm come back, gradually, super slowly allow that was a super deep stretch and twist, realign through the spine. We're going to let those knees rest upon each other. Slowly imagine you're trying to push yourself headfirst up the mat. And maybe just take your hands resting on those lower rib cage in the front of your body and see if you can draw the ribs in as if you're trying to maybe broaden the contact that your back of your body is making with the floor beneath you. Just turn the corners of our mouth up. There is always something to smile about, my friends. Even just the ability to be able to connect here right now, this morning. Our community of yoga has no boundaries at all. It stretches all across the world. Slowly and gently just draw those legs up. We're going to keep them wide this time. We're going to take those knees almost down towards the armpits. We can just rock around here a little bit. You may want to, again, my arms are long enough, I can just tuck my knees in the crook of my elbows and just interlace my fingers. That for me is really comfortable, it's nice. You may want to bring the arms to the back of your thighs, maybe behind your knees. And if you wanted to, we could go into our happy baby pose, arms on the inside of your knees, fingers to the outside edge of your feet. The idea is we try to keep the tailbone on the ground and we try to lift the feet up. Yet again, there's that balance. Ego wants us to get the legs as high in the air that anybody ever has done, and our back will be really quite happy if we left the tailbone on the ground. Remember, you have to smile. This is such a ridiculous pose, but it's so lovely. Hip opener, lower back releaser. And for those of us, I include myself totally, who have spent way too much time over the last 10 days or so, whether it's because of being poorly or just not working, just sitting around, lying around, having endless cups of tea in bed in the morning. Slowly and gently draw those knees in, roll up, tight, 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 like a little ball, hedgehog. And then hands the back of your thighs, let's roll ourselves up. Maybe cross those ankles over, bring them right close to your bottom if you can, and just lean forwards here. If cross-legged doesn't work for you, it's totally fine. Have your legs in whatever position does work for you. And just slowly let the head hang down. We're inviting here the beautiful stretching through the cervical spine. Let the chin maybe rest on your collarbone, your chest. The whole weight of your head here, that 8 or 10 or 12 pounds. Just create that lovely stretch. And maybe just move the head around a little bit. And see if you can feel how this position of the head is actually stretching not just down through the back of your neck, but all across the upper back. And maybe as you soften, draw the navel in. Maybe you can soften a little bit more. And then slowly and gently just bring ourselves out. Fabulous. I'm going to grab a block. If you have a cushion or a towel or rolled up something or other, and just pop your cute little bottoms on it. Sometimes if our hips are just elevated a little bit, it just allows us to be a little bit more upright, to feel a little bit more comfortable maybe. Excuse me. And just take a few moments here. We're going to come back to our breath. We're going to notice how our breath feels a little bit different. Different from when we were lying down. And remember, where your attention goes, that is where your energy goes. So if your attention is going somewhere, one of those downs rather than the ups, shall we say, disappointments, something that didn't happen over this last week or so that you hoped it would, or maybe even something within ourselves. I think we start every year. We're going to come back to this New Year resolution. We're not going to use that phrase ever, ever again. New Year intentions. Intention is a name, it's a hope, it's an aspiration. A resolution is very definite. It's a promise. And very often we get a little bit overstretch our expectations of our resolutions. And very often we end up maybe halfway through the year, maybe at the end of the year, we look back and go, well, I didn't walk all those miles every day I was going to. And we kind of feel that we've let ourselves down. And I really would like us to not feel that. I would really like us to go, you know what? My intention for next year is if there's anything about myself that I feel I need to change, that's my intention. I'm going to work on that. May not make it happen, but that's my hope. So an intention is a much gentler way of, if we feel that there's anything we need to do ourselves, maybe it's not letting trigger us so much. Maybe it's not letting us spend so much time reflecting in our past. Maybe it's not expecting too much of other people. That's always a danger. So there could be a sense here of just really feeling, I want us all to feel that we've had the best year that we could. We've done the best we could this year. We have been the best version of ourselves that we could be, in amongst everything else going on around us. And maybe set an intention to keep that going next year. We could start today. Why the heck not? Why do we have to wait till the 1st of January to be this better, in inverted commas, version of ourselves? We don't. We can do it right now. We can set an intention. Maybe to spend more time on yourself. Give yourself that little bit of time as self-care. To look after yourselves. A lot of us have many roles in our life, and we look after a lot of people. We're responsible for some people, maybe. We care for other people. We feel obligations. We wear different caps and hats, maybe. Sometimes we forget to look after ourselves. One of the lovely expressions that my teacher used, and I still use it myself so often, you cannot serve from an empty cup. So allow your yoga practice, whether it's just sitting quietly, connecting with your breath, allow it to be your way of refilling your cup. You know how we rush around when our phone battery is showing a red line on the battery icon? Oh my God, my phone's about to die. I need to find my charger. Our body is telling us exactly the same thing internally when we need to recharge. Set the intention to listen a little bit more to what your body is asking of you. We're going to take one hand to our heart center, one hand to our belly, and we're just going to do another round of deep breathing here. Again, maybe Ujjayi breath, maybe the belly and then the ribs. Again, play with the breath. Playing with the breath, I think, is one of the most beautiful things to do. So we can feel the belly and then continue up to the ribs. Maybe let's try that for 5 rounds. So you breathe in, you feel the belly expanding, then you continue to breathe in. And you go, wow, that's such a deep breath. Hold at the top there. And as you exhale, you can either pour the breath out from the upper, middle and lower, or you just exhale completely, drawing everything in. Inhale again, belly, lower ribs widen, upper chest opens. Pause. And because you're all in your own space, remember, you can exhale loudly through your mouth if you like. For me, I find it very cathartic to be able to make a sound. Doesn't matter what it sounds like. It might be humming, it might be as if you're blowing the candles out on your birthday cake. Whatever it is. Maybe it's just making a deep, beautiful sigh. One last time. Belly, ribs, chest. And then let's take our hands down onto our thighs or our knees. Maybe make a mudra. Mudra, remember, is just a position with your hands. Every different position has a different meaning. Unless I've got the list in front of me, I can't remember. But there are so many different ways of creating a mudra. One of my favourite ones is just to turn my palms up and just let my fingers kind of curl up as if I'm holding a ball of energy. I also like to put the back of one hand in the palm of the other and just lightly let my thumb tips touch. Some people I know like to kind of hold on to the forefinger and the thumb, making that little chi symbol, maybe fingers on the floor. There is no right or wrong. Just be aware. Send that attention down to your hands, to your fingertips, and notice what feels right for you right now. Awesome. We're just going to gently sway a little bit side to side. Maybe keep the eyes open if you're worried about being a little bit seasick. Hopefully you won't. Maybe go forwards and backwards. Maybe make a figure of 8. Just kind of move around a little bit. Begin to roll those shoulders. Let's get our body moving now. We're going to stretch the left hand out, bring the right arm right up and over, and just kind of rotate and kind of spiral the rib cage, the armpit up to the ceiling. And then allow that right hand to come right down to the left side and draw a semicircle. And as it does, it stays on the floor. Now the left arm's going to come up and over, and we could do a little side bend to the other side. And see if you can close your eyes, visualize that lovely progressive side bend, that gentle, easeful curvature of your spine. Rotating the rib cage up, maybe looking up to the sky, maybe looking down to the floor. There's no right or wrong. Slowly let that left hand come down to the floor. Gradually bring it round in a semicircle so that both hands, all of your fingertips are on the floor. Turn the palm round as we inhale, lift the arms up. And then turn the palms round as we exhale. Spread your fingers. Invitation now is to close your eyes. And imagine you're a bird. And these movements with your arms represent your beautiful, beautiful strong wings that support you, that keep you up in the sky where you belong. If you were a bird, what bird would you be? Maybe be a colourful parrot flying from one palm tree to the other in the sunshine. That would be quite nice, especially this time of year. Maybe you're an eagle flying over the mountains, the valleys, the lakes, the forests, with your eagle eyes, keeping an eye on everything going on around you. Maybe you're a pelican because you like them and they're so kind of funky and funny. Maybe just a beautiful robin, just flying around. As the arms come up, this time we're going to keep the hands together and just draw the hands down so the thumbs rest at your heart center. Draw the chin in a little bit. Remember, Namaste, it's a sign of respect to ourselves as well as to anybody else that we are including. Honouring ourselves, honouring the light, the energy, the soul, the inner self, the true self, whatever expression works for you. We're going to give ourselves a big hug. Doesn't matter which arm goes around, we're going to do it both sides. Can you reach right round? I can just about reach around and find the inside edges of my shoulder blades. And if we can, we're going to bring ourselves into eagle arms. So we keep the upper arms crossed, we bring the forearms together if we can, fingers maybe coming into the palms. Now if that doesn't work for you, which it doesn't, and not everyone's proportions are the same, having given yourself a little hug, just bring the back of your hands together and squeeze the elbows together. We're inviting to have a big stretch between our shoulder blades. And we're going to inhale, we're going to lift the hands up a little bit and away from your face. And then we exhale and we round through the shoulders, bringing those elbows, those arms down towards your belly. 2 more times. Inhale, lift up. Your back of our hands together, you just squeeze the elbows together and do exactly the same movements. Feel the space between your shoulder blades, let your breath go there. And then after you've done your 3, just give yourself a little hug again. Remember which elbow is on top. Take the arms out behind you, right out, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Lift up your heart center. And then cross the arms over the other way. And if you think, I'm not even sure if I got this, I think I have. Determined to remember, but when it comes to it, you can't always. So give yourself a big stretch, big hug. Bring the forearms up together. Again, if it's too much, it's fine. It's not about not being able to do it. It's about your proportions, your muscular structure. It just won't do it. It's fine. Back of your hands together. Interlace your fingers. Squeeze the elbows. On your inhale, lift the elbows up. Little back bend, maybe slightly. And then exhale, draw the elbows in, rounding through those shoulders. And again, 2 more times. Go where you need to go. You may quite possibly find that one shoulder feels a lot more uncomfortable on this side. Mine does. So I'm not making such a wide movement. I'm not lifting my arms up too much because it's uncomfortable. Slowly and gently come back, wrap those arms around you if you can, give yourself a little hug, and then release the arms, give them a little shake out. Take the fingers out to the side, just one more little shoulder opener. Just take the hands back a little bit. See if you can really press down with the little fingers and maybe lift up the thumb and the forefinger. So as we kind of squeeze the shoulders together, we drop them down our back, we feel that lifting up. And then as we put a little bit more pressure into the little fingers, the outer edge of your hand, we feel that stretch a bit more maybe. Slowly soften, just let the fingers, the back of your hands rest on the floor as we draw the navel in, round the shoulders. As we come back up, we move those hands a little bit further back. Trying to lift up the thumb and the forefinger, squeeze the shoulders together, maybe lift up your heart center and your chin very gently. And then slowly and gently soften. Again, we just rotate the hands so the palms are facing up. Draw the navel in, soften, chin to chest. Oh, feel that lovely stretch there. One last time. Maybe the little fingers come so far back behind you that they're touching. Maybe they're nowhere near. It's fine. Squeeze the little fingers into the ground. Can you lift up the forefinger and the thumb here? Can you lift up your heart center? Open your heart to all the opportunities, all the gifts the universe are offering you. And slowly and gently come back. Just rotate the hands again. Shoulders fall forwards. Draw the navel in. Fabulous. Let's get some more movements, guys. Let's come up onto our hands and our knees. Again, keeping close to you anything that you feel you might need. If you've got a blanket or cushion for your knees, if you're having issues with your knees, it's totally fine. Do what works for you. For me, there is no right or wrong in yoga. It's all about what works for you, what feels good for you. So again, we kind of almost find our own positioning. We know wrists under shoulders, that's the alignment cue, middle finger pointing forwards. If that works for you, that's great. It doesn't work for me anymore because of my shoulders. Knees under hips, most of us can do that. We can have flat feet and push down a bit with the tops of your feet. We can tuck the toes under. And let's just do some very gentle cat-cow movements. Get those shoulders together and down your back. Bring the collarbone forwards. We don't need to look at the sky. We can just look forwards. Draw the navel right in. Tuck the tailbone under, chin to chest. Breathe into that stretch. And when we talk about that, notice how you're breathing. Very often we breathe out as we round up because it kind of makes sense, I guess. We're kind of compressing the belly. And then we breathe in as we bring the chest forwards. My suggestion is, if you are breathing like that, that's fine. Just do one more round. And then maybe can we change the breath? So what I'd like us to be able to do in a moment will be, we're going to breathe out as we bring the chest forwards. We're going to draw that navel right into the front of your spine. We're going to breathe in as we round up. We're breathing into the ribs at the back, between the shoulder blades, under the shoulder blades, down the side of your body. Breathing out, bring that chest forwards, collarbone coming in front of your armpits, arch through the back. Really be aware now of the muscles, the work that they're doing to create this. One last time, that huge contraction down the back of your body. Push down with your fingertips, the knuckles, so we're not dumping all the weight on your wrists. And then slowly come back, try and find that neutral spine. We're trying to make a tabletop. And unless you've got a mirror close to you and you're looking at it, you won't know. We just feel. Remember, we're invited to use our inner eyes, if you like. We're going to flatten our feet. If you did have them tucked under like I did, keep the hands where they are and just begin the journey to bring the hips back. Now for some of you, for me, it's the right position. I can bring my hips to my heels. You may want to fill that gap with a block or a cushion. And you may even find when you're down that you need to take those arms out a bit further to come into your extended Balasana. Ears down between your upper arms. Breathe into your back. Breathe into the armpits. I can feel the stretch going right the way down through the forearms. A little bit of pressure through the fingertips and the knuckles as if you're almost trying to grip the floor. And then slowly and gently in your own time, just round up. Maybe just do some little side bends here. That might feel good. So if you're wagging your tail. And again, I'm going to widen my hands because I'm going to come up into downward facing dog. Tuck your toes under. Inhale, lift up. And just kind of walk it out. Really check out how that feels. So maybe the first downward dog you've done for a week, maybe longer. Wag your tail, bend the knees, give your hips a little wiggle. Check out how it feels. Give the head a gentle shake, little nod, little shake. Check out how that feels. And then slowly and gently just walk your feet towards your hands. Super slowly. You'll come to a place where you probably need to take the heel of your hands up, and that's fine. And then come into Uttanasana and soften the knees here. Just check out how that feels. Just kind of hanging out of your hips. Maybe fingertips on the floor, just kind of lift the body away from the thighs, maybe straighten the legs, and then bend the knees and soften again. Really let the crown of your head fall to the floor. Take your time here. And then whenever you're ready, bend the knees a little bit more, push the feet into the floor, begin to round your spine up, stacking those vertebrae one after the other, until you come up to Tadasana. Maybe already you feel a bit taller. Maybe your back feels a bit looser. You're more aware of the length down the side of your body, maybe. We're going to bring our hands to our heart center, Namaste position. Again, honouring ourselves as well as everything else in the universe. And just take a few moments here. Golden thread at the top of your head, lifting you up. Again, can we find that moment of gratitude? Grateful to be able to share this time together this morning. Grateful to be able to move our body with the ease that we have available to us right now. And it may feel stiff, that's okay. Bodies have memories now, but your muscles have memories. They will soon go, oh, I remember this. On your next inhale, lengthen up, extend your mountain pose right up to the sky. And as you exhale, just bend the knees and just kind of fall down. Just slowly and gently coming all the way down. Maybe holding onto your elbows here a little bit. Just kind of checking out what feels good, keeping the knees soft. And then we're going to bring our hands right to the top of your thighs. We're going to lift our body away from our thighs. The idea here is almost we kind of encourage, I'm trying not to use that word push, we encourage the top of your thigh bones to go backwards. We draw the shoulders together, we draw the chin in, and we can still keep the knees bent and soft. We don't have to lock them in. And find that length from the crown of your head to your tailbone. And then slowly and gently soften, soften, soften down. Fingertips on the floor. We're going to pick up our right foot. We're going to float it back and we're going to gently bring it down to the ground. Now I know already, because I wasn't far enough forwards, that I'm going to need to wiggle this back foot back in order to come into a lunge. Slowly drop the right knee down. Maybe wiggle the left foot forward so we've got the knee and the ankle connection. Fingertips on the floor, square the hips. Imagine you've got one of those tight resistance bands around the top of your thigh bones. They're going to bring the head of your femur bones in line. We just look straight ahead. We lift up our heart center. And then slowly we're going to come back into that runner's stretch. Maybe bring your hands back, lengthen up. Again, draw the chin in. See if you can bring this left hip crease back a little bit and just fold over. Maybe try to get that straight spine. And then as you come forwards, fingertips on the floor again, looking up a little bit higher maybe. And then slowly as we come back, we're going to keep our fingers there, far forward as we can, coming into that runner's stretch. As we come forwards, right hand stays on the floor, left hand gets tucked behind us. If you wanted to, you could bring it right up to the sky. I'm going to keep mine tucked behind, but I'm also going to tuck my toe under and just straighten through that leg, a strong, strong leg here. So I haven't kind of lifted up away from the floor, and then slowly and gently come back down. Toes tucked under again, fingertips on the floor, lengthen up. We're going to try and take that left foot back. We can slide it back, coming into your downward dog again. Give a little wiggle, wag your tail. Slowly come forwards. We're going to kind of round up through the back a little bit, come onto the balls of your feet. And we have several options. If you're familiar with Chaturanga Dandasana, please feel free to do that. I actually don't do that anymore, my shoulders don't like it, but we can lower ourselves down, knees, thighs, pubic bone, belly, into your prone position. Forehead on the ground, lengthen out through both legs, tops of the feet on the floor, and just roll the shoulders away. A little bit of support here, but really it's all about the back as we come into a very gentle cobra. And just maybe just gently roll a little bit side to side if that feels good. Toes get tucked under. We can come up through tabletop onto our hands and our knees if you like. We can also come up through plank. Your choice, your practice. And then slowly and gently lengthen out through. Lifting up the hips, coming into downward facing dog. Fabulous. And then we're just going to walk our feet towards our hands again. Bowing down to Mother Earth. And then on your next inhale, we round ourselves up. We're going to go all the way up this time, straight up into your extended mountain pose. Maybe a back bend at the top. And again, just kind of soften down as if you're just melting down towards the floor. Give the head a little shake, a little nod. Fingertips on the ground, left foot now gets picked up, taking it back. Again, if you don't think you've taken it back far enough, it's fine. We just wiggle it back. Or we can drop down onto that left knee and we can inch the right foot forwards. There's no right or wrong, remember. Fingertips on the floor. Squeeze the head of your thigh bones together, lifting up the head, just keeping it parallel. Slowly coming back into your runner's stretch. We're going to take the hands back, this first one. Lifting up through the body, bring the right hip crease back. Maybe fold with a straight spine if you can. That will really deepen that a little bit more. Slowly and gently come forwards again. Shoulders together down your back. Lift your heart center. This time we're going to keep our fingers where they are as we come back into that runner's stretch. As we come forwards, the left hand stays on the ground. Right hand comes behind us. We make a little twist. Feel free to open the arm up to the sky. Tuck the back toes under and lift up through that leg. Take a few deep breaths in here, rotating, twisting, squeezing the belly and the thigh together to keep that alignment. And then slowly and gently come back. So now the idea now is that we're going to step that right foot back, so slide it back. And again, just take a few moments here, wiggling it out. Doming kind of through the back as you come into your plank, maybe. Wiggling your feet back if you feel you need to. And again, maybe just coming over into your upward facing dog this time, if you prefer. Maybe coming down onto your belly again. Maybe doing your gentle little back bend. Maybe coming all the way up. But whatever you do, just do what feels right for you right now. Toes tucked under, lift up through plank, coming up onto your hands and your knees, whatever works for you. And we all come and join each other in downward facing dog. Gently just kind of moving the hips around maybe. Slowly coming down, nice wide knees, maybe as wide as your mat. Big toe mounds together. And coming back into a wide-legged balasana. Again, maybe that one potato, two potato position to rest your head on your fists. Just go wherever you need to go. Fill the gap with a cushion between your hips and your heels. Maybe you feel like your chest is so close to the ground, you just want to come and turn your head to one side and drape the arms over your thighs. Just take a few moments here. Give yourself the time. Don't keep thinking about what we're going to do next. Just be here, be present, be in this moment. Pay attention. Because if you pay attention to this moment, then that is where your energy will go. If you have got your head on one side like I have, then we probably need to turn it over. And just take a few moments here. Slowly and gently just bring yourself back up. We're just going to come back onto our hands and our knees. We're going to do some very gentle cat-cow, adding in those little side bends maybe. Let's check out how that feels. Maybe we could just slide one arm underneath the other one, just coming into a little twist here. Maybe not, there's very little weight in my head or my shoulder. And again, if you want to do, you could bring your, I've got my right arm through, so my left hand's coming to my sacrum. We can lift it up to the sky as well. Or it can stay on the floor to support you. Slowly and gently come back. Let's just go to the other side. Let's lose some of that tightness that may be in our shoulder girdle. So again, there's really not a whole bunch of weight. I'm supporting my body, really, my head, my shoulders with my hand. I could bring it to my sacrum. Whatever feels right for you. A couple of deep breaths. Notice how this breath almost feels like it's not getting to one side, but it will do. Slowly and gently come back. We're going to stretch those arms out a little bit more. Maybe take the knees back. We're going to come into extended puppy pose. So we start with a back bend. We stick our bottom right up into the sky and we bring the belly back to the thighs. We're all going to go somewhere differently. Maybe you can bring your forehead down to the ground, heart center to the floor, belly to the thighs, tailbone sticking up. If it's too much, then just come up a little bit. Maybe drop the elbows down. Whatever works for you. But we're trying to get this back bend in our heart center. We're trying to feel the thoracic spine arching, creating space, lifting our heart, opening our heart. And then slowly and gently come back into your child's pose. And again, you choose whether your legs are together or not, whether your hands are back by your feet, the more classic pose of the child. And just take 5 deep breaths here, breathing into your back. See if you can feel every one of your vertebrae almost kind of like opening like a pair of wings. As if all the way down your spine, just suddenly this lightness at the top of your in-breath. And as you exhale, allow your body to melt over your thighs. Allow your shoulders to sink down to the ground. Just be. Let go. And then what I'd like us to do super, super slowly is to come over onto our backs and try to make the transition between child's pose and coming into a supine position just as smooth. So maybe just come up, maybe just slowly and gently just turn yourself around. If you want to do, you could do a little vinyasa flow there. You could come up into downward dog. And then slowly in your own time, just begin to bring your back down, vertebra by vertebrae, to the floor. And then almost mimicking your child's pose, creating an upside down version. I thought I was going to do the whole session there without coughing, but apparently not. And draw those knees in, draw the chin in. Again, if your knees were wider, then you keep them wide now. Draw the chin in, eyes closed. It's just like child's pose. You can lift up through the head and shoulders as well if you wanted to. We can just gently roll a bit from side to side. We're going to lengthen our left leg right up to the sky and lowering it down to the ground. Your left hand's going to bring that right knee over into a twist. Right shoulder's going to stay on the ground. So we can kind of tease our body in here. Kind of inhale, come over, exhale, come out a little bit. Inhale, maybe come over a little bit more. Especially if you haven't done deep twists for a while. Be gentle with your body. Slowly come over, maybe let your left hand support that right leg when it's in the position it feels it needs to be. Keeping that right shoulder grounded. Maybe the right big toe would come to the ground. Maybe it's nowhere near. We're all different. And just take 5 deep breaths here. You know, you can extend that leg out if you want. That's going to engage that IT band a little bit more. If you find this quite comfortable, then you can always reach and hold on to your big toe, keeping the right leg straight, right shoulder on the ground, And you really know now that you've got 90 degrees difference between the position of your shoulder girdle and your pelvic girdle. One more deep breath in. And then slowly and gently just begin to bend that right leg. If you did extend it, maybe use your left hand to lift it up. As you slowly, really super slowly, really want us to remind ourselves how far over we've gone in that twist. If we come out of it too quickly, we almost lose that. Realign through the spine, maybe move the head a little bit. Check out how that right side feels, the leg, the hip, the side of your body, the ribs right up to the armpit. And let's go to the other side. So we draw both legs in, we're going to lengthen the right leg up, lowering it down to the ground. Left arm goes to the side. Remember to try to keep that left shoulder grounded. And again, maybe tease this left leg over into your twist. It may not want to go. Remember, we're not symmetrical. Our job is to try to find the balance. And again, maybe supporting your left leg with your right hand. Maybe you're going to go a little bit further. Maybe you're already exactly where you need to be. Remember, a twist is a twist is a twist. There's no depth, openness, height, inches, gap between your knee and the floor that we need to find. We find our twist. And every time you come to it, it will feel different. Again, if you want to, I am blessed. I have the door in the way. I don't need to lengthen out my left leg. But feel free to if you wanted to. Sometimes we take these gifts. Super deep breath in. Really feel the rib cage trying to come back to the left. That will deepen your twist a little bit more if it needs it. Feel that ringing of a dishcloth sensation. Not a very attractive analogy, I know, but for me it describes exactly how I feel. In your own time, maybe using your right hand to lift the leg up. Slowly, slowly, super slowly. Really come out of these deep twists excruciatingly slowly, so that you're aware of the depth of your movements. Both feet on the ground, realign through the spine, broaden the shoulders, move the head around a little bit, and just check out how you feel. Have we got that balance? In your own time, draw those knees in towards your chest, give them a little hug. And if there's anything that your body feels that it needs to do before we do begin to get down to Shavasana, then please do that. Maybe your back is asking for another twist. Maybe it's asking for a different position completely. Maybe your shoulders need a little stretch. Maybe you need to do a full body stretch. Breathing into the armpits. Again, whatever feels right for you. And then in your own time, begin to find your position for Shavasana this morning. So it may be coming back into a seated position. It may be staying on the ground. It may be grabbing that blanket. Maybe rolling yourself up like a sausage roll. If you've got props, please feel free to use them. Bolster, blocks, cushions, whatever you feel. And again, just come back within yourself. Come to connect yourself with your breath, your body. Deep sense of gratitude for the way that your body has moved this morning. If I may share this passage, which really resonated with me, and I hope it does with you as well. Why do we start a new year with promises to improve? Who began this tradition of never-ending pressure? I say the end of a year should be filled with congratulations for all that we have survived. And I say a new year should start with promises to be kinder to ourselves, to understand better just how much we bear as humans on this exhausting treadmill of life. And if we are to promise more, let's pledge to rest before our bodies force us. Let's pledge to stop and drink in life as it happens. Let's pledge to strip away a layer of perfection to reveal the flawed and wondrous humanity we truly are inside. Why start another year gifted to us on this earth with demands on our already overstrained humanity, when we could be learning to accept that we were always supposed to be imperfect? And that is where the beauty lives, actually. And if we can only find that beauty, we would also find peace. I wish you peace in 2023. Everything else is all just a part of it. Let it be so. Again, lots of little nuggets there, reminders to be kinder to ourselves, to understand how much we already bear, how much we already carry. So let's set intentions if we need to. Maybe set the intention to do things that you love more often. To try to stop the negative self-talk. And try to stop ignoring your own needs. Why do we feel that we're not important enough? We're not worthy enough to look after ourselves. You know what? If we keep putting other people first, they will always treat us second best. And if 2022 has taught us anything, it's telling us to enjoy the moments we have and don't take any day, anything, or anyone for granted. So please, right now, just take a few deep breaths in, drawing in the energy that you need, drawing in the love for yourself, the love for our life, the acceptance, the gratitude. We've only got to watch the news, read the papers, whether we do it online or in paper form, to realise how fortunate we are in this country. It may not be perfect as we view it. There's certainly a lot of unrest, a lot of dissatisfaction, I suppose is the right word for it. And a lot of problems. Certainly this country has a lot of problems, a lot of issues. But remind ourselves to be grateful. Let your first thought upon waking be thank you. Sometimes it's just as simple as that. So for those of you on YouTube, thank you so much for joining me on this session. It's been an absolute joy to share this with you. I wish you all well. I wish you peace, health, happiness, well, whatever you wish for yourself for this next turn around the sun that we're all doing. Do it with grace, but please, please do it with self-love. Remember, where your attention goes, the energy flows. We don't have an endless supply. Use it wisely. And as always, from my home to yours, bless you. Namaste.